why is there a Master Systems Integrator? Why does that term even exist, and why is it being perpetuated within our industry? And we as a group, we talked about it. We came up with what we would say are 4 reasons why Master Systems Integrators exist. The first reason, and the most common, is that many end users need to decide on a strategy for technology for BAS and other systems, and they don't have the internal ability to do it. So they bring in a contractor, what would be deemed a contractor who does have that experience, and they leverage that experience to make better decisions on how to put the technology in. And the contractor then essentially becomes a consultant to the end user to make those decisions. We see that as being one of the most common reasons why MSIs are brought in. It's just for consulting, right? Most MSIs have mechanical, electrical people on staff. Most of them have experience with other vendors in the space, and they can make a huge impact on the technology goals of an end user. And so we've seen a lot of success, and that's how a lot of MSIs have started, is simply by consulting. Another reason why MSIs exist are the complex owner requirements on these systems. So, when we got Niagara and some other systems, what did we do? We plugged them into networks. And when we plugged them into networks, what did we do? We added infinite complexity to what we're doing as an industry, but we also introduced a party to our conversation, the IT departments of the end users we're serving. And the IT departments have demands on our systems. And oftentimes, the facilities group doesn't have the wherewithal to deal with those demands. So here, again, is the Master Systems Integrator, oftentimes acts as the intermediate or almost like the negotiator between an IT department and a facilities department to ensure that not only does facility get their goals in terms of the systems to support the buildings, but IT gets their goals in terms of cybersecurity, maybe a converged network, potentially utilizing each other's systems for other purposes, right? So another reason an MSI is brought in typically is to help converge or to help manage the relationship between the systems and the IT networks that support them. So another reason for MSIs. Another thing that we see a lot for MSIs is for people who have a large portfolio of buildings. They want a consistent approach to the software, the ontology of the data, the graphics that are used. So each building, instead of getting its own software system, they want one system that blankets them all. So the MSI is brought in as a contractor element that can be brought in above essentially the temperature control contracts and act as the synergy as a single contract to ensure that the owner's data, graphics, and goals are met, right, as a part of that system. So we see that very often as well. And of course, the new one, the biggest one, and I hope a lot of you got to sit in the morning session on cybersecurity, but cybersecurity, cyber threat, cyber issues are just simply growing and growing and growing and growing. And it goes beyond just setting up VPNs and making sure we have secure remote connections. That's just the first layer of all this. If we get into some of the other layers, which includes the controllers themselves, the networks they're on, the ability for those controllers to be a part of a cybersecurity calamity, there's going to be more and more need for professionals who understand those controls, understand that software, and can help mitigate that cybersecurity risk for the owners. And of course, this is probably going to be the fastest growing part to what we believe is the MSI business. So those are 4 solid reasons why people hire MSIs. We think there's other reasons as well, but those were the 4 that we as a group decided to put our finger on.